Okay, good day. In this chapter, you will learn how to convert that DWG AutoCAD drawing file to that PDF, or you're going to print a .wg into a .pdf copy. All you need to do is a working drawing, just like this one. Okay, so I have here a model having two figures and a title block having a default A3 size bond paper. Okay, for the title block, I have a separate video for this on how to create this one using a scratch. Okay, so let us first have your figure, so this one, and how to transfer this title block to your working drawing. So this is your title block, and we're going to transfer this one on your working drawing. So this is our objective is to convert this one into PDF copy with a working scale, a correct scale, then a standard title block. So this is our title block. So the first method that we're going to do is to W block, to right block this given drawing. So this given title block. So the command for that is W block. Okay, so just type it on your command line, press enter. Then on the dialog box, click this icon for select object. So select the entire title block, press enter. Then for the base point, you can just select this lower left corner of your title block. Okay, now you can save it on your desktop or on your document. So we can name this one as A3. Okay, then press OK. Before you press OK, be sure that your units is compatible with your title block units. So in this example, our title block unit is millimeter. So just press OK. Okay. Once you see that icons, that means you successfully converted this layout into a W block. Okay, so now proceed to your drawing. So this is now your speed test. Number 2 as the file name. Then on your lower left bottom, just click layout 1. Okay, so this is the default layout. I think this is a bond paper, a letter size bond paper, or an A4. This is your model view, and this is your paper size. First is you have to delete first your model view. So just select it and press delete. So now you can now insert using insert block your title block. You just browse it using your AutoCAD drawing file and select this one. This is our title block that we have previously W block. So click open, then check the scale if it is a factor of 1 and the block unit is millimeter. So just press OK. Okay, so you can put it here first because we're going to change the property of your paper. So to change the property of your paper, same thing what you have done on your writing or creating a title block. So right click here, then page setup manager. Click page setup manager, then modify. First is your printer or platter. We set this one to AutoCAD PDF high quality print. Then for the paper, so select the ISO A3 full bleed. That is the 420 by 297. Okay, so the orientation is landscape. Check, do not change this one. So what to plot, it must be layout. Then for the plot scale, again, that is 1:1. Be sure that you have a millimeter unit here. So 1 millimeter is equal to 1 unit. Then for the pen assignment, do not forget to set it to monochrome because since your drawing is in colored, because we use the layer as for creating the title block, so set that one into monochrome. Do not change the plot options. Then for the orientations, we use landscape. Then press OK. automatically your working drawing will change to A3. So now you can close this dialog box. Then you can now move your drawing to your paper. So just assume this one as your um, corner. Okay, so now you have now your working title block. So this is A3 full bleed, and the next task that you're going to do is to create or to make this drawing appear on your layout. So the command for creating a layout is MV. That is model view. Okay, MV. Okay, that is MView. Press enter. Then you can click the upper left corner going to the lower right corner. So in this first example, we're going to use first 1:1 scale, and we're going to use this first figure. So for 1:1 scale, just make this object appear on your middle, then set your scale. So your scale is here, set it to 1:1. Okay, automatically it will going to shift to 1:1 scale. So now, since your object is at 1:1 scale, you can double click outside, okay, to access your paper. Okay, do not move inside your drawing. Let's say you're going to scroll down and scroll up, because you may destroy your set scales. So if you do that, so just set it again to 1:1, or you can just type on your command line PS, that is short for P space. Automatically you will going back on your paper space, just like that. Okay, so to print your drawing, since we already have the different parameter, so check if you have to change some of the title block that you have previously make. Let's say this one, let's say this one is block. You have to explode first your title block. So type X, enter, then click your title block, then press enter. If you already explode your title block, you can now edit the different specs of your title block. Let's say this is mechanical parts for our example. Mechanical parts. Okay, so that's now your object. Now we can print it, and if we're going to check, you can just click this one, or you can just type Control P. So you can click print and continue to single sheets, then click first preview. Okay, so if you notice, your frame is visible because this is your model view. To avoid this frame from being redundant, you can just close this first and set this frame to depth point layer. Okay, this is your depth point layer. So now, if we're going to print that, I'll just click Control P, then continue to single plot, then preview. So now this is your object. You have a properly assigned line weight for it, and you have a correct label for your title block. So just press this one, the plot, and it will now going to convert your file into PDF copy. Then we can now set the filing. Let's say A3 example 1. Okay, so hit save, and now you have now your PDF copy. So this is 1:1 scale. Okay, so let's try two objects using one layout. Since on your example you have two objects here, so we're going to insert that using only one layout, but you have two objects, and you can use different scale, or you can use the same scale. So first I'll going to delete your model view. So this time I'll going to type again MV to access my model, and I will going to set it here. Okay, now double click inside to access MV or your model view, and you can pan your figure to appear its center, to appear center on your MV. Then set your scale on your desired scale. Let's say we set it first to 1:4. If you notice 1:4 is too small for your A3 paper, so I'm going to proceed it to 1:2. Let's say 1:1 first. 1:1 is too big, so if you can see our previously uh, edit PDF copy, that is 1:1. So I think the correct scale is 1:2. So if it is now enough, you can just double click on your paper to exit model view. Then another MV will be created along this part, and you can now center your second drawing here. So set it again to your desired scale. I think both of them are using 1:2 scale. Since you have that uh, properly assigned scale for the two drawing, you can now double click outside. Or if you don't want to double click outside, so you will not get an error double clicking your paper, you can just type PS. Okay, so PS will able you to access your paper. So now next is you will go into remove your frame. Okay, left points again. Then on your model, if you want to remove this label, you can just select it and delete it. It will going to update also on your layout. And it's much better to have your label written on your layout. So let's say this one is your figure 1. So we use figure 1 as the label. So let's say mechanical parts as an example. Okay, mechanical parts 1. Okay, so we have to edit this one, so it will going to appear much larger. Okay, so I use 5 as scale. Okay, and we can write the scale at the below of that label. So let's say the scale is 1:2. Okay, the current layer that we're using for this one is figure. No, it is a dimension. We can use okay, so let's leave it first like that. Okay, so we just copy this one, so we change it later here. So take note that our label is at our layout, so it will not going to affect your model. See, if you can see, this is our label, and if you proceed to your model, you don't have the label here because it is only visible on your layout. Okay, since you have now your drawing, you can now have your text written on your model. So if you want a, let's say, text legend which do not affect your scale, you can write it here. Okay, then continue to plot single, then preview. Okay, this is now your object. Okay, so having both scale, which is 1:2, you can now convert it to PDF. Okay, let's say this is A3 sample 2. Okay, as the file name for your second example. Okay, okay. This is now your second printed PDF. So if you notice, also you have a visible line weight for both figure 1 and figure 2. You can do all you can also do that even though you have different scale. Let's say this one is 1:2 and this one is, let's say, 1:100 if you have a very large object. So you can do that. Okay? So that is how we convert that DWG to that PDF. Okay? And also, before we end, do not forget to save your file here. Okay? So again, save it also. Let's say this is a3 sample. So you will have both that WG and that PDF copy. Okay, so that's all for this video. Thank you and good day.